What is going on, guys? My name is Aaron, and this is the Game Day Hour. Welcome back to another episode, and we're back to the NFL. Last week, we kind of jumped into college football and just what's left of the college football season, which, by the way, was a great video. And again, thank you for 100 subscribers. That was basically my 100 subscriber episode. But we're back to Game Day picks. It's no longer Fantasy Hour. Our fantasy season is done. While I have a second league in which I can win the championship, and I did pretty well in, I've only really focused on the league that had that trophy in the background, which I'm going to lose eventually, and I'll kind of highlight who's the winning championship game when it comes to that time. But before that, I really thank y'all for 100 subscribers, and I thank you that you've helped me grow this channel, and I look to continue to get better and to grow more and more. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. And also thank you for the support on the shorts. I had a short a couple weeks ago that jumped over 1,000 views. Now, that's my second short to ever do that. That's amazing. Thank you guys so much for viewing all these shorts, liking them, commenting on them. It's really fun. Simply today, we're going to be looking over week 16 and just the 15 games we're going to be looking over from Saturday to Monday and trying to predict all those games, because now that fantasy is over, that's the main focus, and we've done very well in the picks, so let's continue to do so. This is the Game Day Hour. I hope you guys are ready for episode 38. Last week, I went 11-5, and with this week's record plus last week's record, I have a combined record of 152-72. So basically, I am more than halfway in my picks correct, and even had some pretty impressive ones. So the one that stood out to me, I chose the Lions to beat the Bills 45-42. They lost 48-42. So still, that's a crazy prediction. The fact that they got up to the 40s, that was a great game, by the way. And I know they lost. I got this new jersey. My dad and my stepmom, they got it for me. It's for a Christmas present. Thank you guys so much for getting me this present. It's amazing. I kind of wanted a jersey like this because, one, the Lions have, arguably, this is the best jersey I've seen in a long while, along with their helmet. And I really like Amon-Ra St. Brown. I think he's an incredible player, and I believe that team is amazing, the Lions overall. So, yeah, thank you again for the gift. Love you guys. So now we're going to be getting into the picks. We're looking over 15 games, and the worst of them all, the 15th ranked game, so the worst game, is between the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Las Vegas Raiders. These are some of the worst teams in the NFL. The Jags is just a very disappointing season. The Raiders, didn't expect much from them at all. Overall, I mean, these two teams are just very sad teams to watch, I guess. And this is a very boring matchup. As you can see, it's even right now from what I looked. It doesn't seem like there's a dog in any of these when it comes to the betting, which basically means if it's even, then Jacksonville has the advantage. But because of the quarterback situation, because of the fact that the Jaguars have basically no hope in the playoffs, even though the Raiders need to be losing, I have the Raiders winning 16-10. Low scoring, boring game, whatever. But I believe that their team is right now pound for pound better because of the quarterback situation. I would much rather have Ritter than Mac Jones, which sounds very weird to say, but that's kind of how I feel about it, because I do think the Raiders team overall is a little more competitive than the Jags team, I'd say. I know they won last time against Tennessee, but still, I'd much rather have the Raiders. The 14th ranked matchup, the second worst game, is between the Tennessee Titans and the Indianapolis Colts. The Colts, I mean, they're still there for the playoffs, but I will find it very hard to believe that this team is going to win or make the playoffs at all. Now, they're against the Titans, who are just bad overall. They just benched their quarterback. They have no hope. I believe that the Colts are going to win this game 24-23. It's still going to be a pretty close game. I know Indianapolis is picked by 4 to win. I believe that they're going to be a lot closer than that. So I'll take the Colts in this one. This 13th ranked matchup is between the New York Giants and the Atlanta Falcons. The Giants are awful. They're looking to get a quarterback in this next draft. But the biggest story right now is Atlanta. 1-4 in their last 5 games. Kirk Cousins, 1 touchdown, 9 interceptions. He's benched. Even though they beat the Raiders and they're still in the race to make the playoffs, they just have to tie or have a better record than the Buccaneers, or have some things happen with the Commanders and all that. But they're still in a playoff position. They're 7-7, but they're going with Michael Penix. Now, I think this is a little bit of a safe call because the Giants suck, and because of that, I still have the Falcons winning 21-13, but this is very bold. I don't hate it, though, because if you're Atlanta's coach, you need to make the playoffs. Kirk Cousins is not doing very well. This is probably a better move. It's a risky move, but it's a better move. And note that it's going to be a closer game because of that, even though Atlanta has the minus 10.5. It's going to be closer than that because the Falcons have been pretty bad over the last 5 games. So this is more or less just kind of where I see them being. The 12th ranked matchup is between the Cleveland Browns and the Cincinnati Bengals. Browns season's over, even though I still want Jameis Winston to be the quarterback next year. Their season's over. Obviously, they're not playing for anything. As for the Bengals, they still have the slimmest of margins to make the playoffs. They would have to win out and have so many big things happen for them. It's really hard for me to believe that's going to happen, though. I do think they're going to win this game by the exact spread. I have them winning by 7, 31-24. But to me, the Bengals season, I want to say it's over. It looks over, but it's really hard to tell. So, I mean, obviously, I want the Bengals to still try. I think they have a position, and I no longer think they should be tanking. It's going to be really hard for them to make it. They have to first get by this game. It's going to be a tough one. But, yeah, I'll take the Bengals. We'll see what happens in these next few weeks with them. Next up, the 11th ranked matchup between the Arizona Cardinals and the Carolina Panthers. This one doesn't have much of a storyline going into it. It's a lot better because the Panthers have played better, barring last week against the Cowboys, which, by the way, I'm still annoyed that the Cowboys are still winning because they shouldn't be. They should be done with the playoffs. They should be trying to tank. I'm not going to get what I want, obviously, whatever. The Cardinals, they're still in the playoff race. It's going to be a really tough one because you got 2 teams ahead of them, LA and Seattle, who are 8-6, and they are fighting right now. And then there's not many spots for the wild card because it's a very competitive wild card. So very slim margin. They need a game like this, and I believe they're going to get a game like this because even though Carolina's been playing close, that Cowboys matchup was very, very bad. I have the Cardinals winning 34-17. They need a game like this. Their offense can definitely hold a game like this, and they just need to win out and hope that a lot of things happen. They need a lot of pieces to go their direction. Okay, now we're in the top 10 of all the matchups. At the 10th best matchup is between the New England Patriots and the Buffalo Bills. It's only this low, mostly because of the Patriots and the fact that we already kind of know where the outcome's going here. I mean, the Bills are picked by 13.5. The Patriots this year, I don't really know where their bright spot is. I think that they still have a lot of things to get through, and I thought they would have been a little bit better, but they're kind of where I thought they're going to be at the beginning of the season, so their season's over. I don't think there's not really a bright spot to look at for this team right now, even at the quarterback position. As for the Bills, on the other hand, Josh Allen just got done with a masterpiece. Now, I said the Chiefs were the best team jokingly. Really, the Bills were the best team, and Buffalo, they're going to continue their high-octane offensive power and absolutely crush New England 42-10. It's not going to be close. The Bills are just electrifying, mostly Josh Allen. I mean, MVP? Most definitely, he is the MVP right now. The 9th ranked matchup is between the Los Angeles Rams and the New York Jets. Simply put, the Rams are in the driver's seat right now to win the NFC West, which is a crazy thought. I didn't think it was going to happen. I thought the Niners would have done a lot better, but then again, the Niners dealt with injuries, and it was tough. The Rams did too, and during that time, they were pretty bad. But now the Rams are they're electrifying. They're great. Their offense is amazing. Jets, one of the most disappointing teams in all of football this year. They did get some bright spots, obviously, but, I mean, it's going to be tough for the Jets to go into the offseason because there's just so many question marks surrounding them. I believe that the Rams are going to crush New York 41-17. I understand they only put up 12 points against San Francisco, but the Jets defense, suspect. They've been pretty bad this year. The Rams offense, extremely good, and I believe that they are going to win this matchup big. The 8th ranked matchup is between the Detroit Lions and the Chicago Bears. The Lions, I mean, it was a great game against Buffalo. They were basically going to lose the entire time, but they fought tooth and nail, and I'm pretty impressed with their performance. I know a lot of it, you can call it garbage time points, and you're probably right, but still, they kept it close against Buffalo, so you got to give them credit there. Their defense looked awful, though. Chicago, on the other end, I mean, started the year off, like 4-2, and then ever since that Washington game, nothing. They've been awful. It's just a complete disaster if you're Chicago, and they've lost a lot of pieces. Their coach got fired eventually. It's not a good year if you're a Bears fan. I mean, the biggest headline, though, for me is David Montgomery being out. And Jahmyr Gibbs is great, but I felt like the Lions really banked on having both of those guys in the lineup doing the things that they did, because I believe them together is way better than whatever the system's about to be with Jahmyr Gibbs. Though I still think they're going to be very impressive. Despite all the injuries, I believe they'll win this game 31-17. The Bears have nothing going for them. They might as well tank. What do they get? I have no idea. Maybe you can get a Travis Hunter, who knows? But I think that the Bears, they got nothing. Lions shouldn't win this one. 7th ranked matchup is between the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Dallas Cowboys. It's going to be Sunday night. The Cowboys are annoying me. They shouldn't be winning these games. They should be trying to lose out. I don't know why they're even in, why they're even still considered for the playoffs. They should be trying to lose. But then again, I'm not surprised because Jerry Jones has not done anything right this year. Sorry. As for the Buccaneers, once you finally got back Mike Evans and you started being healthy, your team has been explosive. Got done absolutely bombing LA. 40-17, unbelievable. It's going to be that similar kind of destruction. I believe that the Buccaneers will win 38-23. I mean, they're only picked to win by 4, but they're going to win by more. Seriously. The Buccaneers look great, and they are a top 10 team in my eyes right now because when they're fully healthy, they're actually really, really powerful. So I'll give it to the Buccaneers. The 6th ranked matchup is between the San Francisco 49ers and the Miami Dolphins. And this one's a little interesting to me. Personally, I think the Niners are done. The Dolphins are technically not done, but it just takes a few more wins from some of these wildcard teams and it's over. So the Dolphins are in that same position as the Bengals. What do you do in that position? I believe they're going to win this game 27-14 because the Niners have dealt with so much injury this year. Brock Purdy hasn't looked that great under these kind of circumstances. There's just nothing going for them. They have a lot of drama right now. So I just don't believe that there is good news for the Niners in this case. Miami got the home crowd advantage, and they still, I feel, have a better chance of making the playoffs than San Francisco. Mathematically, they're not out yet, but they might as well will be soon. Now we're in the top 5 matchups, and at number 5, we have Monday night between New Orleans and Green Bay. And to be fair, this matchup is only high on this list is because it's prime time. I believe that it will be a lot closer, a lot more competitive, but the Packers are killing it. They're one of my top 5 teams right now in power rankings. I believe the Packers are extremely talented on all ends, and like last year, the Packers are in a great position to not only get a good spot in the playoffs, but make a big push like they did last year. I believe that the Packers are going to win 33-21. There's not much to say about New Orleans. It's just they lost so many pieces that would have helped them throughout the years. So I believe that the Saints will be close in the first half, but after that, nothing. The 4th ranked matchup is between the Minnesota Vikings and the Seattle Seahawks. I mean, it should be a little bit lower the more I think about it because of the Geno Smith situation. But the Vikings this year have really impressed me. For the last few weeks, I thought they were pretty fraudulent, like the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm wrong. They've ever since dropping 2 in a row to Detroit and LA, they have been great. They have been consistent, I believe, and I mean their offense is still very high powered. They just got done destroying Atlanta, destroying Chicago. I believe they're going to continue this kind of run and do it again to Seattle, who has a quarterback situation, and it's bad for Seattle at this time because they're making a push for the playoffs. They're tied the same record as the LA Rams, and because of that, I will have to take the Vikings to win 31-10, and Seattle's in a lot of trouble. A lot. Next up, the 3rd ranked matchup is between the Philadelphia Eagles and the Washington Commanders. Washington has been pretty silent as of recently, but they're 9-5. They've looked pretty good this year. I still think that Jaden Daniels, he's going to win Rookie of the Year. But Philadelphia, I mean, whoa, this team is great. They're my number 1 team currently right now in the power rankings. This is going to be a really close game, like it kind of was last time. Washington, the problem is, against really good competition, they're not playing great, and they've given up a few games that they shouldn't have given up. They were in the race. I mean, at one point, they've only had 1 loss. They were leading the NFC East, and now they've just kind of fallen apart. Not all the way, but kind of where they were going to go if they continued that consistency is not there anymore. Philadelphia is probably going to win this matchup 28-23. It's just really hard to see Philadelphia falling right now. I do believe they will drop a game potentially, but it's going to be pretty hard for them to do so. This would probably be the best bet if they had to drop a game because then you have the Cowboys and the Giants left on your list. So if they can get by this game, they'll probably secure the NFC. The next matchup, the second-ranked matchup, is between the Houston Texans and the Kansas City Chiefs on Saturday. The reason why this matchup is high up there is because both teams feel very similar. Underperformance from quarterbacks who we thought they were going to perform very well. For Kansas City's sake, I mean, this is probably one of Patrick Mahomes' worst seasons ever, and yet they're still 13-1, so you got to give them credit there, but they've been a pretty fraudulent team for the most part. And now that Patrick Mahomes is dealing with his injury, I think he's still going to play against Houston. I mean, he was full participant in practice today, and today's Wednesday. I'm pretty sure he was full participation either yesterday or today on Wednesday. I'll have to go back on the report, but the fact that he's a full participant despite having that injury against Cleveland, kind of concerning to me, but it's also a really good sign that the injury wasn't as bad as it could have been. Houston, on the other hand, I know they just got done beating Miami, and they're in the playoffs. Congratulations. This team took a step back, in my opinion. I don't believe they have been as great as they seem. I mean, the best part about them is that front line on defense, but outside of that, it hasn't looked great. I mean, Joe Mixon's been pretty good. To me, Houston's going to lose this game. Kansas City will win 20-16. I know Houston is picked to win this game, but I mean, if Patrick Mahomes plays, they're most likely going to win. Because Houston, outside of that front line, which can be very disturbing to Patrick Mahomes, I don't think their offense is playing as great as they need to, and Kansas City's defense is pretty good, so I'll go with the Chiefs on this one. And the top-ranked matchup, number one matchup, happens also on Saturday. The two best matchups are on Saturday. That's pretty funny. It's between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Baltimore Ravens. Again, I say it's the best rivalry in the 21st century. These two teams have always been great against one another. It's been more or less Pittsburgh who's been taking control, but when you take a look at the matchups and the rankings, Baltimore is one of the most threatening teams right now in the AFC, even though they've been pretty inconsistent. Baltimore's 9-5, Pittsburgh's 10-4. Baltimore gets a win, you split the series, and then you're back in the driver's seat of the AFC North. Pittsburgh wins, I think they close the gap and they'll secure the AFC North, maybe. I'm not completely sure about that. I'll have to check to see, but I'm pretty sure they would secure it. This game, Baltimore's picked by 6 to win. It's going to be a close game. Lamar Jackson is successful against a lot of teams. He's not very successful against Pittsburgh for obvious reasons. I mean, the Steelers' defense is incredible, better than Baltimore's defense in my opinion, but because it's in Baltimore, and Baltimore has something to be playing for big time, I'm going to take the Ravens to split the series and win 19-16. Another mid-low scoring game, very close. But I just believe it's one of those rough kind of games where Baltimore, they need it. If they don't, you're going to have to go on the road, and that's probably something they don't want to do right now. So I'll take them to win. I think there's more urgency on their end. And that'll do it for today. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. If you did, please leave a like, comment down below, and subscribe. Go follow me on all my social medias, as I tend to try to post there as consistently as I can. And most of all, continue to view the shorts. Interact with me there. Interact with me here if you want. We're getting closer to the end of the season and the end of the year, more or less. And since my next episode will most likely come out the next Friday, I'm going to go ahead and preemptively say Merry Christmas to all of you guys. I hope you guys have a great Christmas, and my episode should appear directly afterwards, I think 2 days following, which will probably also be the last episode of the year, so I hope you guys are prepared for that. My last episode for Season 2 will be the Super Bowl episode, so I want you to keep that in mind, and then probably take a break after that, kind of get ready for Season 3, and then move on from there. But I thank you so much. This season of my podcast, I went from getting 1.6K or somewhere in the ballpark and only like 24 subscribers to all of a sudden I have eclipsed 65,000 total views and jumped over 100 subscribers. I'm currently at like 105 as I'm recording this. So a big leap this year, and I thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe and go watch all these football games. Have a great Christmas, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out.